Hello, Mike Pruitt here. I just wanted to give you a brief tour of the famous Jupiter 60. This is my 1/4 scale Christmas train that I built last year in honor of my dad that passed away. First of all, we have the engine. The engine's built with a steel reinforced frame. It's all been MIG welded. Everything has bearings and roller bearings and greased inserts, and it has a steam piston action that works just like the real steam locomotives did, the old Baldwins back in its day. And this is the cab and the drive wheels. The drive wheels have a rubber tread that helps with traction on the track, and the track is made out of 3/4 inch square tubing with wood ties, and the joints are a square brass insert and then screws through each side. Very secure. There's approximately, I think, about 250 feet of track, or maybe more like 230 feet of track that's included. That's, I believe, 10 curve pieces. 20 curves and 16 straights. I believe there's a total of 36 pieces of track. The access to the components of the engine. This opens like a car hood, and we have the smoke machine here that creates the simulated steam. This is the drive motor, which is an electric AC drive motor, through the transaxle of a riding lawnmower. So we have reverse, neutral, and several speeds. The main speed that I run the train in is number 2. That's number 1. That's neutral, and that's reverse. And hiding underneath the cab is the circuit board. We'll take a look at that here in a minute. This is the bell ringing mechanism. It's a cable system. This was actually one of the harder things to design. It was the rocking back and forth action of the bell, and we'll look at that here in a minute. It's powered by a windshield wiper motor out of an 83 Mazda, I believe it is. Okay, the top of the cab opens up. It's hinged, and that is the CD player that provides the Christmas music. And on the back of the cab are the controls. You have individual controls for stop, go, to turn the music off, the bell off, the smoke. And I had provisions for an actual steam whistle, but we never got that far. This is some of the graphics that I had started. There are still more graphics that need to be done, but these were cut out. These were custom designed by me and cut out on a special machine and applied. This is the tender car, which in our case has speakers, and it has a blow-up Santa Claus and some bears that ride in it. Here's a detail shot of one of the wheel assemblies. These are roller bearing wheels with steel backing plates, custom built frame assemblies, all built like a tank. And here's one of the couplings. These are quick disconnect couplings with pull pins, and they swing in both directions up and down, so it's enough for the track to allow for variances in the track layout. Let's see if we can see the there's the transaxle out of the riding lawnmower. And also, you'll notice this drive chain. The drive chain mainly synchronizes everything. These front wheels are cosmetic only. They're not drive wheels. So everything turns in synchronization. We had to design it this way for it to turn a tight corner. This was the only way that we could turn a very tight corner on the railroad track, and I'll show you in detail later. This is the caboose, and it's a very detailed caboose that I built from scratch. Everything here has been built from scratch, starting with a piece of metal and a stick of wood. And again, this caboose has a few details that need to be finished. The handrail back here, just a few minor things, some graphics. Oh, this is my shop kitty that helps on every phase of the project. Now the top opens up. The top opens up, and this is access to the generator and the 12-volt power supply that runs the circuit board and some of the functions of the engine. Everything is controlled by this handheld remote, and this is something I custom built. It's a 4-channel remote. It has a stop button, a start button, a smoke generator, and a bell ring button. So let's fire the generator up, and we'll show how it works. Here's some details on the custom headlight and the cow catcher. A lot of details there, a lot of woodworking and angles and sawing. These are some little flag posts that I made. Everything's got a lot of brass on it. A lot of brass needs to be cleaned and polished. Details of the front wheels, those I actually found at a salvage place. They were cart wheels for a factory cart, like a big industrial cart, and that used to run on rails, and they made perfect front wheels. A lot of brass, the bell, still some graphics that need to be done, a lot of brass and copper, brass rail. I've still got another rail that needs to be constructed. I've got all the supplies for that, and I will be finishing it here in a few weeks. Okay, let's start it up. To start it, all we do is swing the caboose door open, turn on the main power switch, come over here, and we choke the engine, pull the cord, and then we turn on the main power. Okay, that turns on the AC and the DC. So we have lights, AC power. The Santa Claus is blowing up as we speak. He'll be inflated here in just a second. And as you can see, the controls now lit up. This is the master go button, stop, DVD player. Now, as I mentioned earlier, everything has a function. Here is the, if we want to ring the bell. And again, this was one of the hardest things to design, was to get that bell to ring correctly. It's harder to swing a bell and make the clapper work perfectly than you think it is. Now, the other button is the smoke button. It'll have to warm up here for just a few minutes before it's ready to go. And as I mentioned, we have a go button, and we have a stop button. So it's totally remote control. It has about a 50 or 60, I think a 60-foot range. This was a big tunnel that I built this year. It's actually a maintenance shed and a place to keep it out of the rain. Okay, it sounds like our smoke is ready to go. If we push the smoke button, you can see it, as long as we hold this in, we have a puff of steam or smoke or whatever you want to call it. Looks pretty realistic when it's going, and at night especially. We have an operating headlight. This is all custom built, custom graphics. Looks just like the old kerosene headlamp. There's the Jupiter 60 number plate on the front of the boiler. And I even went to some detail. As you can see, the the knob to open the front of the boiler to clean it out if that was a real boiler. Okay, let's run it around the track just a little bit. I'm going to hit start here. Here we go. We'll turn on the bell, hit a little bit of smoke, and there we go in the tunnel. Turn the bell back off. We can even blow some smoke in the tunnel. It'll be sort of cool. And as you see, even the little kerosene lantern functions, has a light in it. Looks great at night. Okay, when it comes back around, I'm going to turn the music on and I'll show you how the music section works. Okay, this is the trestle I built this year to level the track. Our property goes uphill quite a bit, so I built an elevated trestle this year, and this allows the train to run around the yard perfectly smooth. Now here's the center wheels I was talking about. See, they're for cosmetic purposes only, but that's the only way that we can make it turn a corner, such a sharp corner. Okay, I'm going to stop the train here just a second. Okay, stop. And I'm going to turn on the sound system here. And what I normally do is put it in a endless loop, so it is playing music all the time. We'll turn the volume up here a little bit. Okay, we're going to start it again. And here we go. Hey. Okay, back on the music. I just fired the music off, and we'll turn it up here just a little bit. This is the Tractors. They wrote a song about Santa Claus coming in a boogie woogie choo-choo train, so we thought that'd be appropriate. And then I added some train sounds in the middle. Here we can see the steam piston action and everything working like similar to a real locomotive. Okay, we should have some sounds coming up here. So there you have it. That's the famous Dad's Christmas train, styled after the Jupiter 60 from 1896.